guys, it's Drabbles here, and welcome back to another Pokemon unboxing video. It has been a while since the last time we've done this. I've moved, I've got a new job, and my financial situation is kind of okay right now. So I thought it was fine for me to actually start purchasing Pokemon cards. So that's always fun. Interesting. So anyways, I got a couple of packs here. 3 I'm going to open early. Not early, but the first ones because I got them kind of sort of open. The cards seem fine other than them being slightly open, but that's fine. I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm pretty sure it's how the mail person put them in my mailbox. Because I can definitely tell based on the folding that it was closed, I think. Let's get these out. Righty. And starting from the top, I'm pretty sure this might be a special card, which is great. But yes, let's start unboxing. Unpackaging? I don't know what I would call this. Oh well. Alright, first card is a something. I have no clue what this is. It's the original Japanese one, but does it have has a number? I recognize this. It's one of the bat ones. I think I have it though. It's a really good hollow one though. I don't know how easy it is to see. I've had this one before. I'm not sure what it is though. I will figure it out later and post it here. More than likely. Alright, next card. We have a Grottle. So back in English so that I can read. Grottle. Alright. It knows where pure water wells up. It carries fellow Pokemon there on its back. As long as it's not a gingerbread man. Alright, next we have a Manaphy? Manaphy, I think. It's really adorable. It starts its life with a wondrous power that permits it to bond with any kind of Pokemon. Interesting. And looks like there's a upside down hurricane in the back. Alright, next card. We have a Gabite. Just staring up in the sky, more than likely. Shiny objects are its passion. It can be found in its cave, scarcely moving, its gaze fixed on the jewels. It's a mast or carbink it has caught. That looks more like sunlight than jewels. But I suppose I'll let that person get away with it. Alright, next card. We have a Stunky. It's a skunk with a butt face. Alright. It protects itself by spraying a noxious fluid from its rear. The stench lingers for 24 hours. Yep, a skunk. Next, we have a Alolan Vulpix. Alolan Vulpix? Alolan. I don't know, but it's adorable in like a more old comic book style. It exhales air colder than negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Elderly people in Alola call this Pokemon by an older name, Kyo Kyo. I wonder what that means, and if it's like, it's probably still Japanese, but I wonder if it's like Hawaiian inspired. Right, next card, we have an Eevee. The best genetic whatever that is. Processing an unbalanced and unstable genetic makeup, it conceals many possible evolutions. which is the best. Okay, Murkrow. Been a while since I got one of these. Again, my favorites are the Pokemon, type of Pokemon, or like the Halloween style, and I particularly call them Halloween type Pokemon. My favorite. Seen as a symbol of bad luck, it's generally disliked, yet it gives presents, objects that sparkle or shine, to trainers it's close to. Yeah, like, I think main pros will do that. Alright, next, I have a Squirtle. As a go-to water starter Pokemon, when I play like the original Gen 1, Squirtle is always my starter. And then I think I first started to play Gold, so that was like Gen 2, I think. Anyways, I always start it with Totodile. I always start with water type Pokemon. You can't stop me. I will just do it. When it retracts its long neck into its shell, it squirts out water with vigorous force. I'm proud of it. Alright, next we have a Pikachu. Ooh. Another one of my favorites that I spent, what's it, hours in Viridian Forest trying to find a Pikachu? Yeah. I think that's one of the first things I did because I found out you could get Pikachu in one of like the beginning forest, even though the success rate was really low. I just stayed in there for hours. Pikachu that can generate powerful electricity have cheek sacs that are extra soft and super stretchy. Is that what they are? Just sacs? Alright, next we have another Eevee. This one's like AR. It has the ability to alter the composition of its body to suit its surrounding environment. Coolio. Next, we have a Miltank. It looks like a little eyeball. It melts particles of iron and other metals found in the subsoil, so it can absorb them into its body of molten steel. Yeah, steel is iron and extra carbon, I think, if I remember correctly. Alright, next I have a Magikarp. I don't think I've had a Magikarp yet, but more AR. I think all of the ones in the Pokemon Go style are AR, though. It is virtually worthless in terms of both power and speed. It is the most weak and pathetic Pokemon in the world until it evolves. Then it becomes useful. Right, and this one, okay, I guess some of these aren't the same way, because this one was up. It's a Slowbro. Although I don't think this is AR, even though it's the Pokemon Go style. Slowpoke became Slowbro when the shoulder bit onto its tail. Sweet flavor seeping from the tail make the shoulder feel as if its life is a dream. So, they're just buddies now? Okay, they're just buddies now. Alright, this one was also up. Ipom, a little cute hand tail. It searches for prey from the tops of trees. When it spots its favorite food, Bon Sweet, Ipom gets excited and pounce. I wonder what that is. Probably some type of fruit. It is a monkey. Alright, next we have a Charmander. Or we might get all of the starters today, maybe. Actually, I might have all the starters after this. I'll have to see. Alright, it has a preference for hot things. When it rains, steam is set to spout from the tip of its tail. As long as the fire is not going out, I think that was something from the anime, where if a Charmander's tail goes out, it dies. That is one of the most horrific things I had heard for a while. Alright, next we have a Charmeleon. It has a barbaric nature. In battle, it whips its fiery tail around and slashes away with sharp claws. It looks like it's like holding its fist and like yelling to get off his lawn. Right, next we have a lure module. I think this was definitely something that came about with Pokemon Go, I think. Each player reveals the top 3 cards of their deck and puts all Pokemon they find there into their hand. Then each player shuffles the other cards back into their deck. Cool. So a way to get extra cards if you need them. Right, next we have a Soul Rock. Looks like a tiny sun with its ability Sun Energy. Makes total sense. When it rotates itself, it gives off light similar to the sun, thus blinding its foes. Makes sense. Alright, next we have a Pidove. It looks like your standard New York pigeon, at least from all the TV shows and movies I've seen. Where people go, these Pokemon follow. If you're scattering food for them, be careful. Several hundred of them can gather at once. Yes, a pigeon. But we're hiding it by calling it a dove. Sure, sure. Next, we have a Bulbasaur. I guess we are getting all the starters today. There is a plant seed on its back right from the day this Pokemon is born. The seed slowly grows larger. Because it's part plant. Or is it a plant? Or is it just an animal that's infected with a parasite? The world may never know. Alright, next we have another Palm. Next, Charmander. Again, so cute. Yeah, we read that one before. I wasn't too sure. Next, we have a Pokestop. Again, popularized by the walking game. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard 3 cards from the top of their deck. If a player discards any item cards in this way, they put those items into their hand. And it's a stadium. So right, next, we have a Lunatone. We have the sun and the moon today, I guess. The phase of the moon apparently has some effect on its power. It's active on the night of a full moon. Interesting. It also says it's a meteorite. I guess you can only see meteorites at night. But still. Looks like a moon. Right, next we have another Slowbro. Next, Tranquil. I think it's supposed to be like a quill, maybe. It says it's a wild pigeon. Sure. So what, a dove is a domestic pigeon? It can fly moderately quickly. No matter how far it travels, it can always find its way back to its master in its nest. Yeah, I think that's just a bird thing in general. Alright, next we have a Alolan Raticate. Super angry. Super cute. It commands a nest of Rattata. Different nests don't get along, whipping up severe fights over feeding grounds. Yeah, I think that's true about most mouse species. Alright, next we have a Numel. I don't know what that is. A Numel. The magma in its body reaches 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Its hump gets smaller when it uses fire type moves. Oh, so kind of like a camel, and how we think that when camels get dehydrated, the humps. Like, I was at least used to be told that. I don't think it's true, but when a camel hydrates itself, its humps get bigger, and then as it slowly dehydrates, it gets smaller. And that's because they're just desert animals that need to hold on to water more, similar to like a cactus. I have no clue if that's true or not, but it might be. Alright, next, have another Bulbasaur. Next, another Palm. Next, a Sea King. Having fun, it looks like. Some type of festival. Yeah, those are festival lights. That's what it looks like. In autumn, its body becomes more fatty and preparing to propose to a mate. It takes on beautiful colors. That's interesting. Alright, Charmeleon. This is a different art. This one's more attacking. Alright. It lashes about with its tail to knock down its foe. It then tears up the fallen opponent with sharp claws. Sounds cool. Oh, there's a bunch that are the wrong way. Oh well. So we have a Bidoof, a beaver type. Oh, so this is a plump mouse. Plump mouse beaver. It constantly gnaws on logs and rocks to whittle down its front teeth. It nests alongside water. Next is Candela? I've never met her before. Draw 2 cards. If you drew any cards in this way, flip a coin. If heads, attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. Cool. Alright, another Eevee. Current studies show it can evolve into an incredible 8 different species of Pokemon. Another Apom. Another Bulbasaur. Ooh, a regular Vulpix. As each tail grows, its fur becomes more lustrous. When held, it feels slightly warm. Well, it is a fire type. Alright, next we have a Swablu. It constantly grooms its cotton-like wings. It takes a shower to clean itself if it becomes dirty. Cool. Have another Apom. And a Togepi. I love Togepi. She's adorable. This ovate creature is frequently mistaken for a moving egg when encountered out in the fields or in the mountains. Its guileless smile soothes the soul. Yes, love a good Togepi. Alright, next, we also have one that's not flipped over. A Ghastly. Another one of our favorite Halloween types. With this gas-like body, it can sneak into any place it desires, however, it can be blown away by the wind. Yes. And also, I can't wait for Spoopy Month. Spoopy Month is my favorite month, as Halloween is my favorite holiday. It's amazing. Right, next we have a Braviary. I think that's what that is, a Braviary. Because this Pokemon is hot-headed and belligerent, it's Corviknight that it's taken the role of transportation in Galar. Okay, so they could use it, but they're not going to. Alright, next we have another Eevee. We've seen this one before. Some cards aren't. Yeah, some cards are flipped over, some cards aren't. Oh well. We have Leftovers. At the end of your turn, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, heal 20 damage from it. Alright. Next, we have another Bidoof. Next, we have a Slowpoke. It is incredibly slow and dopey. It takes 5 seconds for it to feel pain when under attack. Which means its last attack it probably won't feel anything. Alright, next we have another Slowpoke. This one's fishing, however. Slow-witted and oblivious, this Pokemon won't feel any pain if its tail gets eaten. It won't notice when its tail grows back either. Which is probably why Shelder was able to hang on and just magically become a new species. Alright, next we have a Bibarel. I'm also guessing the Bibarel is the one that's in the tree and not the Pokemon that's staring deep into our soul. It makes its nest by damming streams with bark and mud. It is known as an industrious worker. That's nice. Alright. Copycat. Yeah. Unless it's this one person can copy other. I think that's what it's doing. That one person can turn themselves into like different styles of people. Okay, yeah. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw a card for each card in your opponent's hand. Guess that's good if your hand is like utter crap. Alright, next we have a Wimpod. I don't think I've ever heard of this one before. It's nature's cleaner. It eats anything and everything, including garbage and rotten things. The ground near its nest is always clean. It makes sense. You gotta keep your stuff good. Next, we have a Commando. I think that's Commando. Choose a card in your hand and discard the other cards. If you do, draw 4 cards. If you have no other cards in your hand, you can't use this card. Okay. Alright, next, we have a Rescue Carrier. Looks like something Nurse Joy would have. Put up to 2 Pokemon, each with 90 HP or less, from your discard pile in your hand. Cool. So yeah, kind of like a Nurse Joy card. Next, we have a Jigglypuff. I think my voice sounded weird. I don't know. Y'all can tell me later. Recordings of Jigglypuff's strange lullabies can be purchased from department stores. These CDs can be found near the bedding area. Makes sense. Alright, next we have Gyarados? Yeah, Gyarados, I think. An arachnid. Wait, is an arachnid? 1, 2. No, it's not an arachnid. I'm only counting 4 arms. It's a bug. It spews threats from its mouth to catch its prey. When night falls, it leaves its wood to go hunt aggressively. Alright, this one is an Abra. It's also slightly shiny. Yeah, the Abra. And this Pokemon uses its psychic powers while it sleeps. The contents of Abra's streams affect the powers that the Pokemon wields. Makes sense. Right, next we have another Pikachu. This one looks especially happy. Its nature is to store up electricity. Forests where nests of Pikachu live are dangerous, since the trees are so often struck by lightning. Interesting. I actually never heard that thing about Pikachus before. Right, next we have a Drifloon. Its round body is stuffed with souls and expands each time it leads someone away. That's not dark and creepy at all. Alright, next we have a Dreepy. It looks a bit derpy, which I also love. It has a habit of biting at Clauncher even though it doesn't feed on them. This is said to be a vestigial behavior from when Dreepy was alive. Oh, it's a ghost? Oh. There's lots of ghost-based Pokemon. Alright, this is a Woobat. Looks really cute. You can barely see its wings though. It's hiding in the brush. It emits ultrasonic waves as it flutters about searching for its prey. Bug Pokemon. Well, this is a Grimmsnarl? I don't know what that is. It looks like a goblin. It says it's a bulk up Pokemon. No, it looks like a goblin. At least it lives deep within the forest. Even after evolving into this splendid form, it hasn't given up on its petty misdeeds and pranks. So maybe a goblin or imp. Could be either one. Right, next we have another Charmeleon. Next we have Ecams. Just enjoying the rainbow. By dislocating its jaw, it can swallow prey larger than itself. After a meal, it curls up and rests. I wish after eating I could just go to sleep. That'd be nice. Ooh, what's this? Hops Corviknight? A Corviknight that belongs to a particular person? I'm guessing this person. Although its wings have partly turned into steel and becomes heavy as a result, this Pokemon flies through the skies with ease. I think this was the other one, the Bravery was like, because the Bravery is so mean, we use this other Pokemon. If I remember correctly. Ooh, a Delibird? I don't know what it is other than like Santa's helper, it looks like. It has a generous habit of sharing its food with people and Pokemon, so it's always scrounging around for more food. That's sweet. Or you have another Delibird. Alright, next we have Sweet Honey. Choose one of your Pokemon and then flip a coin until you get tails. For each head, heals 40 damage from that Pokemon. Yeah, heal the yeah. I was confused about that preposition. But yeah, no, that's right. Alright, next we have a Wishcash. I think that's what that is, a Wishcash. It makes its nest at the bottom of swamps. It will eat anything if it is alive. Whiplash will eat it. Good to know. A Featherball. Never heard of this one before either. Search your deck for a Pokemon that has no retreat cost. Reveal it and then put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. I thought most Pokemon had retreat cost. So now I'm going to be looking for that. Alright, next we have a Duskull. Duskull, maybe? One of Halloween types. Duskull's victims suffer an intense chill as the Pokemon siphons their life force away, glaring at them with his bright red eye all the while. Yeah, that's creepy. Alright, next we have a Cottony. It's kind of like a sheep, but also like a poof. Yeah, it says like Cotton Puff Pokemon. It shoots cotton from its body to protect itself. If it gets caught up in hurricane strength winds, it will get sent to the other side of the earth. Stay away from the coast then. Alright, next we have an executor, I think, with its creepy mask faces. Looks like mask. Says it's coconuts, but I don't believe him. It is said that on rare occasions, one of its heads will drop off and continue on as an acute. It says it's a coconut top, but even from that, I don't believe it. It's growing eggs. Alright, next we have Explorer's Guidance. Also has the mark of Ancient, whatever that means. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck and put 2 of them into your hand. Discard the other cards. Oh, I'd be so worried about playing that one. What if I had some really amazing cards? Alright. Inns Clink Clang? Guess this is also another one that belongs to a certain person. From its spikes, it launches powerful blasts of electricity. Its red core contains enormous amounts of energy. And then we also have Inns Clink. So we can evolve this one. The 2 mini gears that compose this Pokemon are closer than twins. They mesh well only with each other. I also think that's like the main description for Clink. Alright, next we have Hops Rookity. I didn't know you could have cards that belong to particular people. The females are fussier than the males. If another creature dirties a female Rookity's wings, it'll peck the offender relentlessly in a burning rage. Understandable. Alright, next we have Floragato. Yeah, I think Floragato. Looks like a gigantic cat. Floragato definitely wields the vine hidden beneath its long fur, slamming the hard flower bud against its opponents. That's what it's doing? Kinda looks like a yo-yo. Yeah, I'm getting yo-yo. Alright, next we have Excelgor. I don't. Looks like an angry octopus thing. That's what I'm getting. Discarding its shell made it nimble. To keep itself from dehydrating, it wraps its body in bands of membrane. Yeah, I'm just getting angry octopus. Right, next card we have another Hops Corviknight. We have a Greedent. I think that's what that is, a Greedent. This Pokemon makes off with heaps of fallen berries by wrapping them in its tail, which is roughly twice the length of its body. That's a lot of food. Alright, next we have a Hops Sandaconda. I think this is the second type he has. It will expand its body as much as it can and then contract itself, blasting out sand with enough force to wash away a dump truck. Don't mess with it then. Alright, next we have a basic metal energy. Yeah, that's metal. Next, we have a Noibat. Really cute. This Pokemon emits ultrasonic waves from its large ears in search for fruit to eat. It mistakes applin for food. If I remember correctly, it does look like an apple. And this might be the de-evolution of the first one we had. Let me check actually. I think it is. They're in different shapes. But yeah, I think it is. Well, that will also help me figure out what number it is for my binder. Alright, next we have a Pyroar? Pyroar, probably. The temperature of its breath is over 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, but Pyroar doesn't use it on its prey. This Pokemon prefers to eat raw meat. So just make a fire. Stay warm. Alright, next we have a Talonflame? Yeah, Talonflame. Bird Pokemon make up most of its diet. It approaches at high speeds and smacks them down to the ground with its powerful kick. Okay, so we're going with maybe a hawk or an eagle. I'm leaning towards hawk, I think. Alright, next we have a Dino? Just looks like a baby crying. Because it can't see, this Pokemon is constantly biting at everything it touches, trying to keep track of its surroundings. Oh, kind of like a mole. Except moles are usually nicer. Alright, next we have a Petalil? I think Petalil. They prefer clean water and soil. When the environment they live in turns bad, the whole bunch will up and move to a new area. So I guess it's one of those indicator species, or like a canary. You messed up, humans. Alright, next we have a Chinchou. Yeah, Chinchou. On the dark ocean floor, its only means of communication is constantly flashing lights. Wait, it says it's on the ocean floor, yet it's all the way up here. It is at the surface. What is it doing? Pretty sure that would. I'm pretty sure like anglerfish, unless they're in high pressurized areas, can't really go to the surface. I would have to look that up. Alright, Fletchling. Looks like a basic bird. Its body is always warm. Trainers who live in cold areas apparently sleep with it in their beds. That sounds nice. It's like a heated water bottle, heated jug, a heating pad. There we go. I knew I'd eventually get there. Alright, next we have a love disc. This is a really common one we have. Love disc makes its home in coral reefs and warm seas. It especially likes sleeping in the space between Corsolas branches. I don't think I've seen a Corsola yet, though. Alright, next we have a fan rotom. I'm also realizing that rotom is motor backwards. Yeah. Oh, also this one doesn't have a retreat cost. Interesting. Its body is composed of plasma. It is known to infiltrate electronic devices and wreak havoc. Alright, next we have a Natu. I think it's trying to be AR because the drawing style of the Natu does not match the person whose shoulder it's on. It is extremely good at climbing tree trunks and likes to eat new sprouts on the trees. Nice. Alright, next we have another lure module. Next, another Eevee. Next, a Charmander. Next, another Tranquil. Next, ooh, a Chansey. The egg Chansey carries is not only delicious, but also packed with nutrition. It's used as a high-class cooking agreement. If it will ever give it up. Doubtful. Alright, next we have a Pupitar? Pupitar. I think it says pupil. Pupitar. Let's go with that. Even sealed in its shell, it can move freely. Hard and fast, it has outstanding destructive power. What we always like to see. Ooh, another lore module. A Stormy Mountains. So another stadium. Looks really cool though. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic energy Pokemon or basic dragon Pokemon and put it onto their bench. Then that player shuffles their deck. Cool. Next, and certainly not least, a Dream Ball. I don't think I've ever heard of these either. That sounds really cool. You can play this card only if you took it as a face-down prize card before you put it in your hand. Search your deck for a Pokemon and put it onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. You can play this card only if you took it as a... So something that the other player has, I think that's what that means. I think that's what it means. But that was the rest of the deck. We had some really cool cards, including one in, I have to assume, Japanese, that I cannot read the name of, even though it is a very pretty card. And then we were also able to get all 3 of the Gen 1 starters. I'm pretty sure I was missing all of like the basic Pokemon of the starters. So finally have those. Got a bunch more EVs and got some trainer owned Pokemon, which I did not know was a thing necessary in the card games. Like I knew that was a thing in the anime, but I thought it just stuck to the anime. So that was really interesting. And then we got a couple of like really cool cards. But I will have fun loading this into my binders because for whatever reason that is half the fun for me is organizing these into my binders. But that was it for now. I do have a lot more sets so that we can start doing these videos again weekly. Yeah, I have a bunch of sets hiding behind me so you can't see them. Already unpackaged, but I haven't looked at them. So we'll have fun with that. So follow me on all my social medias that are down in the description below. I also have a new Etsy store where if I get up to 50 of these cards, I will sell them. And I guarantee that there will not be any repeats. That's kind of the one thing I can guarantee. And I also sell sometimes the individual cards on the Game Card Player site. The name of my shop is down below. I know it doesn't have an apostrophe, that bothered me as well. But anything that does can help the channel. I'm also going to start actually utilizing Patreon the way it's supposed to. It probably won't be all set up by the time this video goes out, but I am working on it. And any money that I make from this channel and all this work goes towards developing my projects that I do on my blog and help with that. So anything you can do would help, as well as liking and subscribing. But I will see you next time, actually talking to you probably in another unboxing video, but also doing work as we sometimes do during the week. But I will see you guys later. Bye.